Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Make Your Mark podcast. And oh my goodness, I am so excited for our guest today because we're doing something a little bit different, right? Now, she's going to come and talk to you about healthy eating, but also dancing. And you're thinking, what a combination, right? So you can only imagine what this conversation is going to sound like in a few moments. But before we get into the nitty-gritty, I'm going to introduce you to Hannah. Oh my goodness, Hannah, thank you for coming on this podcast.
It is so my pleasure, Kay. I'm delighted to be here with you.
Oh
Thanks
my
for
God,
having me.
I knew I had to have you on this podcast, especially when you told me about you doing healthy eating and you're a dancer and you combine the both right
Yeah.
together. And I'm like, wait, hold on a second, what does that look like, right? And how does that even come about? And so before we get into all of those details, I would love for you to share with our audience today a little bit about your background and how you came about this business, because I know there must have been some twists and turns and ups and downs.
Oh my goodness, some twists and turns for sure. Yes, always. And so my background is actually in dance anthropology. That is what I studied for decades, and I've performed, I've taught. I've been dancing and on stage since I was a kid. I grew up doing musical theater and ballet and all of that. And I discovered a love for traditional dancing, particularly from Central Asia and North Africa and the Near East. I saw a performance when I was in high school and it blew me away. And what I loved about it was that the dancers had such connection on stage. They were together, they were smiling, they were holding hands, they were singing songs, they were playing instruments. And they had this beautiful regalia, traditional regalia that the dancers actually had sewn themselves. And they were dripping with coins and fabric. And I was just smitten like that. And my love for travel and culture blended with my love for the performing arts. And I ended up studying dance ethnology, which is like the anthropology of dance, with a
Okay.
specialty in Near Eastern, Central Asian, North African dance. And I was learning about these traditional cultures and how dance was so integrated to their living experience and was really a vehicle of healing. And we've really moved away from that in our modern world. And this is really recent, where a lot of people say things like, oh, I can't dance. Or I can't sing. Well, it used to be everybody danced and everybody sang because this is how we communicated. This is how we healed. And guess what? This happened around the fire. This happened around the hearth. This happened in community, in the kitchen. So the kitchen is really the heart of culture. Around the fire, that's where culture actually started. People would come together, play music, sing songs, tell stories about their day, and connect. And so I just had this fire in me that I wanted to resuscitate this. Or, I mean, it still exists for many people, but a lot of people feel disconnected from this part of our cultural heritage, our heritage as human beings. And I became very interested in what creates resilience in people. And part of that resilience is the container that we're in, it's the environment that we're in. And if we're disconnected, and if we're not in our bodies, and if we're not expressing our emotions, then this creates an environment of disease and illness. So this is a really important factor to healing and to health. So I had the great pleasure and honor of being a part of different communities and their celebrations. And I still do this. I perform for a lot of weddings, Iranian weddings, Afghan weddings, other kinds of weddings, doing traditional dance. And being a part of these family and cultural experiences really gives a very well-rounded experience of what dance means to people and what it can mean. And guess what? Whenever people come together, there's food. So the food is integrated with the dance. And
Right.
as I was studying these dances, the actual utensils of cooking were
Mm,
elements and props that were used in the dance. For example, there's this beautiful ritual that's done, it's called Gidra. It's done by a particular Tuareg tribe in Morocco. And what they do is they take the cooking pot, and after their meal, they put a skin over it and they drum this heartbeat rhythm. And then a woman from the community comes to the center of the circle, and it can be any woman because it's not, there's no hierarchy, and she blesses the community through this beautiful dance through her fingers and her hands. And it's this lovely ritual. And there's something so magical about turning this vessel of nourishment and connection where everyone's eating out of the communal pot into this vehicle of spiritual connection by creating this heartbeat rhythm that everyone gets aligned with and in sync with. And then there's so many other examples I could talk about in Central Asia, how they dance with cups of tea, hot tea balanced on their hands, and they do all these back bends and intricate movements. Or different groups play instruments with their spoons, or they might
mm.
balance pots on their head. And so this whole idea of dancing and cooking is actually very ancient. I didn't come up with it.
Oh, interesting. I like all of that. I'm like, to be fair, we've forgotten those traditions. We really have. We're like, no one does that anymore because everyone's just so busy now, right? And it's
Yes,
right, like there's just no time to have fun while cooking or ki in the kitchen. People don't even have time to cook anymore, right? It's all about
exactly.
convenience as well, right? And I guess that's where the health aspect of it has gone out the window because people will rather just go grab a takeaway because it's just convenient, right? Rather than
Yes.
cooking. Now, all right, I would love to go into a bit more deeper as to the cooking side. So a lot of our audience are entrepreneurs, business owners, they're coaches, authors, speakers, thought leaders. And so we know that as business owners and entrepreneurs, we need to make sure that our health is at optimum level. And so, what would your advice be, especially in this really fast-paced world that we're living in right now? Like, what would be the first steps to like really be aware, take maybe a few steps back to start implementing what the older traditions were, just to bring that healthy aspect back to our bodies and life?
Yes, thank you. And this is so important. And we're so disconnected from our food. As you said, we get takeout, and when we're opening up a package and then we're eating it, this is
Mm,
a very different experience from actually preparing your food, from touching it, from smelling it, from seeing it, from making decisions about what you're putting into it. Because food is healing or not. Food can be medicine or it could be poison. And
mm,
our bodies and how we think, feel, and live our life, and how long we live, and how well we're able to come out there in the world really depends on what we're putting in our bodies, because that is the direct fuel that feeds our cells. And I would add, it's not just what we're eating, but how our body can digest and metabolize what we're eating. And so that comes to the importance of gut health and making sure that the environment of our bodies is such that it can absorb the nutrition. Because there's some people that they might be eating well, but their cells are still not nourished. And so some tips for that are to eat a wide variety of colorful fruits and vegetables. We need a lot of antioxidants. We need all those phytochemicals from all the different colors. They're really going to help protect our immune system, and that's really going to help protect us from cancer and other diseases. And it
mm.
doesn't, like, what I would advise is, and this may sound like a lot, but try to
Okay.
get 30 different plant foods in your diet every day. Just make it a
Oh,
game. I know.
ooh,
But it
okay.
doesn't have to be a lot. You could put like a
Okay.
sprinkle of herbs on your whatever. I always try to have something green.
Right.
and it includes spices
Mm.
as well, which are very
Okay.
anti-inflammatory. They're very important to have spices in your diet. So just make
Okay.
it a game, make
Yeah.
it fun, and as much as you can, just make these little shifts where you're preparing more food at home because it's also, there are a lot of toxins in takeout containers. When we're getting processed food in boxes, that's really not good for us. We want to be eating fresh as much as possible. And there's easy things you can do to prepare food at home that really doesn't take a whole lot of time. And I always feel it's better to have just something nourishing on you because when you're on the road a lot, you make
Yeah.
you make poor decisions. You're stuck and you have to go to a store, you have to buy something that you know is not really going to nourish you. So taking that little time to take care of yourself because it's self-love, it's care, it's part of your preparation for what you need to do in the world.
For sure. Now, you mentioned something that I was going to ask you earlier was okay, like having 30 different like herbs and spices a day sounds like a lot. But you also said that there's easy recipes that you can make that's not going to like take hours and hours in the kitchen because nobody wants that right now, right? In this day and age.
No.
And so, what
Yes.
kind of things would you suggest if someone is just trying to make that shift, make that change in their world? What kind of little
Mhm.
steps and recipes could they be making just to kind of get going with having healthier food?
Yes. Well, I am a big proponent of having wonderful, amazing salads. And a lot of people feel, oh, salads are boring. And
Mhm.
when I see some salads out there in the world, I think no wonder people feel that way, but I don't feel that way at all. There is so
Okay.
much that can be packed into a salad. And what I recommend is having some go-to dressing recipes. I have some fantastic, yummy, delicious, easy homemade dressings because there's a lot of stuff you don't want to be eating in those store-bought dressings and
Right.
they're going to nourish you. And the thing is, you want some healthy fats in your salad.
Okay.
So you try to get different colors and then
Hmm.
add some nuts, add some things that are really going to satisfy you. They're going to add texture. I love to use tahini for salad
Okay.
dressings. That's really just high in minerals and it's very nourishing. I love to use turmeric and mustard. Apple cider vinegar is a great one to add because apple cider vinegar is going to help lower the glycemic level of your meal if you have apple cider vinegar before eating. It's also going to help you feel fuller and more nourished. It's providing probiotics that help to heal your gut. So there's a lot of benefits there. And I have a lot of wonderful salad dressing recipes. Yeah, so just
Ooh,
throw
okay.
everything in. Throw some
Okay.
grains in as well, so you have this well-rounded meal. Mhm.
Absolutely.
Some
I like that.
protein. Yeah. And
I
I would
like
say a good thing to think about is having 3/4 of your plate plant foods.
Okay.
So you want your protein, whatever that protein choice is for you, a high quality protein. And
Hmm.
then and then 3/4 plant foods. So maybe you have your grain or your starch, you have your cooked vegetables, and then you want some raw vegetables as well because you want the enzymes. That's really important to get, which are in raw vegetables.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. I like that because now I've got a visual of what my plate should look like, right?
There you
Um,
go.
That's super cool. All right, so I want to understand a little bit more about and in fact, before we go there, you are a qualified nutritionist. Is that how you know so much about food and how to eat and what to eat and all that? Because most of us aren't. We just kind of see something when we're hungry and we just shove it in our mouths, right? So,
Exactly right. Yes, so I'm a certified functional nutrition consultant. So I do help people, coach people on how to eat healthier and it's not and also how to cook healthier. I'm a real
Oh,
big proponent of also of safe cookware because it's one of the places that we're getting a lot of toxins that affect the health of our gut. So I love just
oh,
making it easier for people to cook healthy and providing tools and resources that are going to save time, they're going to save energy. And I want to inspire people and remind them that it's a creative process and it's also
mhm.
unique to each person. And that's part of my particular training. There's no one diet or protocol out there that is appropriate for everyone. We all have different needs, we all have different lives. Every body is different. And so
Correct.
how to meet a person where they're at and just make those small shifts that
Hmm.
it doesn't have to be a drastic change, but just little small shifts, they add up over time. And it's just
Oh,
about supporting the body so the body can heal itself.
definitely. Now, the other question is, I know there's a lot of people that can't eat gluten, can't eat dairy, like they have so many different allergies. Is
Yes.
this something that you can support with your clients as well? If someone comes up to you with all these different allergies?
Absolutely. That's something I do quite frequently because you're right. It's we have a lot of allergies out there. A lot of people are, especially things, as you said, like gluten, like dairy, and also refined processed sugar is something really important to lower as much as possible. It's sugar is highly implicated in heart disease, and our blood sugar level is one of the root causes of virtually all disease. So we need to be looking at our gut health and our inflammation and blood sugar. Almost all of my recipes are gluten-free, dairy-free, and sugar-free, or at least they're not using refined sugar. I am a big fan of healthy, whole food desserts because we need to have some sweetness in our lives. And there's ways to enjoy that and feel nourished and get minerals and vitamins and healthy fat and protein while also satisfying that sweet tooth. So, do I have recipes? Absolutely.
Fantastic. Now, you mentioned it's funny about gut health, right? I
Hmm.
just came from a spa this weekend, and it was funny the number of people that said that they've got gut issues, right? And they're not too sure what's going on, and therefore they're not eating anything, and they're just drinking water, and I think that's just causing more gut health. Yes, right? Like they're in pain, like all sorts of things were being said about gut health during the spa weekend that I went to. And so I'm assuming that gut health has a lot to do with the foods that we're eating, and sometimes a lot of it doesn't agree with us. And so when someone's going through some major gut health like challenges, what would be the best way to approach that to make sure it doesn't happen again, but also that you feel better about yourself?
Yes, gosh, yes. A lot of people have gut distress,
Mhm.
absolutely. And even if it's not manifesting as like a feeling in your gut, the health of our gut is affecting our brain health. It's the
Mhm.
health of our gut is or the lack of health of our gut, our gut dysbiosis, also called leaky gut, like if we have what's called leaky gut, where the, bigger proteins are getting through, the body is seeing it as a toxin and attacking it. And this is contributing to autoimmune disease, to the rise of in allergies. And a big part of the assault on our bodies is all the toxins that we're exposed to. So, some tips I have, and this is a real complex issue, and it's going to be different for everyone. But just some general tips would be try, as we were talking about a minute ago, try take some time away from gluten and dairy. And for a lot of people, that does the trick. And as well
Oh,
as refined sugar, yes. And it's kind of surprising, like, oh wow. So just as an experiment, see how that is. There also could be particular foods a person is allergic to. You also want to reduce toxic exposure as much as possible because this is all causing an assault on our gut. So eat organic. It's really important. All those pesticides are really making it challenging for our bodies. And take a look at safe cookware. Drink water that's purified. All of these things add up. And also sleep. Sleep
Mm,
is so important. And that's actually also a step one. Make sure you're sleeping well. Because if your sleep cycle is off, if you have cortisol spiking at the wrong time during your day and night, then this is going to lead to a cascade of hormone imbalances. It's going to affect what you reach for. Like, you know how if you're tired, you reach for foods that you really
yeah.
shouldn't be eating? We all do
Mhm.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you really want to take a look at sleep. It's actually one of the most important things that you can do. And all of this adds up.
Yeah, for
Exercise.
sure.
Hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I know at this point, Hannah, people are thinking, okay, I need to learn more about this. Or they're probably thinking, yep, you've kind of raised some alarm bells here. I'm not eating the right foods, or I am reaching for those chocolates and sweets that I shouldn't be when I'm hungry because they're sleep deprived or something. And so, for my audience, if they want to reach out to you, connect with you, learn more about what you do, see how that you can help them, where can they go?
Absolutely. My website is danceanddish.com. So if you go there, you can actually find a bunch of recipes that are, for the most part, gluten-free, dairy-free, and free of refined sugar. I also have a safe cookware guide that you can download. And I also have a monthly get together on Zoom. It's called Hannah's Kitchen Happy Hour. And we can
Nice.
hop on Zoom. We'll make a recipe together, but then also that's a time to connect with me, ask questions, get some inspiration. It's just a 1 hour a month connection. And then, of course, if people would like more personalized support, then they can reach out to me through my website, and I'm happy to provide that.
Fantastic. Now, before we do go, there's one more question I do have for you. Is Hannah, do you really dance around the kitchen while making food? Is that a thing?
Well, do you, Kay?
No. You know what the terrible thing is? I don't do much cooking.
Ah.
I'm one of those people that don't do much cooking. Um, uh, and the thing is, I don't like being in the kitchen. I would rather, like, my passion is podcasting. So I would rather be in a conversation with you to recording an episode, right? Or working on my business than the cooking side of things. And so that is something I need to look at. But no, I don't. So tell me more, well, a little bit more about that side of things, because I can imagine that has like mental it changes your mental state, your emotional state, and your spiritual state. That's what I'm getting.
Indeed. And I think the catalyst is music.
Ooh, put
Whatever's
some.
going on in your life, if
Mm,
you're we're stuck in our heads so much. Turn off the
mm,
brain, just turn on some music. If you're dealing with any kind of uncomfortable feelings, you're stressed out, you're overwhelmed, you're sad, whatever's going, or you're happy, whatever, whatever's going on with you, just turn on some music because it shifts the energy. It makes the room bigger. It makes the room brighter. It brings you into your body. It brings you into your emotional state, and you can connect with a sense of rhythm and joy and happiness. So I'd say make being in the kitchen. Here's what I would recommend. When you do
okay.
spend time in the kitchen, make it a fun experience. Turn on
Okay.
some music and just approach it with a sense of ease and joy. And of course, if you need some inspiration, I am here. To your point about podcasting, I have a TV show called Dancing in the Kitchen. So I'm lucky because I get to be in the kitchen and cook and dance and interview people all at the same time.
Yeah. Yes, that sounds interesting. Oh, we've got to check that as well. We've got to check out those videos for sure. So are they on your website as well?
They are, yes. And also,
Ooh.
another resource is Patreon. If you go to Dance and Dish on Patreon, I have all my episodes, I have tons of recipes, and also a lot of other resources for people. So hop on over to there. You can sign on as a free member and get just a lot of support around healthy eating, cooking, and you can see my show there. And it's also on YouTube at Dance and Dish.
Fantastic. Now, could you remind us of your website again, just in case we missed it?
Yes, you betcha. It's
.com.
danceanddish.com. Yes, just one
Fantastic.
word, danceanddish.com.
I love it, guys. Go ahead and check Hannah out. Go and check out her resources, her videos, because she does what she preaches, right? She's not just telling us to get in the kitchen and start dancing and cooking. She does it herself. And so go ahead and connect with her, learn more about her. Oh my goodness, Hannah, it was so amazing to have you on the show. Thank you for coming along.
Thank you so much, Kay. I was going to say it was a pleasure and it was a delight. But what came out was it was a polite.
Yeah. Do you know what? We all get our words mixed up. I do it myself, even as a podcaster, right? We're only humans. It happens. You can only laugh about it, right?
Yeah, have a break. Take a break. Be easy on yourself. And that's really important too.
I love
Yeah.
it. I love it. Once again, Hannah, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, Kay.
Thanks for listening to Make Your Mark podcast at www.makeyourmarkpodcast.com. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get this and every other episode that comes out. We have lots of great stuff coming, so make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss it. And thank you in advance for all the reviews and comments. I appreciate it so much, and I look forward to serving you in next week's episode.